A statement from Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg's office tonight reads as follows. This evening, we contacted Mr. Trump's attorney to coordinate his surrender to the Manhattan DA's office for arraignment on the Supreme Court indictment, which remains under seal. Joining us now, Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz. Congressman, you faced unfair persecution yourself by our powers that be in our justice system. But Bragg just, indicted a former president for the first time in our history, and yet they don't have to tell the American public right now why, for a few days, just to keep the drama going, I guess. Your reaction to just that aspect of it before we get into more?
It seems to leave a nation on the edge as we witness the Sorosification of the criminal justice system in this country. Remember, Soros gave Alvin Bragg $1 million, and we're used to seeing these things with political leaders arrested, grandmothers hijacked in our city centers, government printing money till it goes out of style in third world countries, and now that's being visited on the United States of America. I spoke with President Trump moments ago, and he is resolute and focused. And he's concerned about what this does to America's brand around the world. We will wake up in a very different America tomorrow because we can no longer have moral authority against the dictators and despots who would always find it easier to jail their political rivals than to compete against them in free and fair elections. And I remember my Democrat colleagues in Congress just crowing to high heaven about the unfairness of Comey making derogatory comments about Hillary Clinton before the 2016 election. This must ring 1,000 times louder to all of them. It is clear election interference, and I believe there are federal equities at play that the United States Congress ought to evaluate.
Now, Matt, Congressman, do you agree with what I said in the angle that if Biden and the White House didn't want this to go forward, it wouldn't have gone forward, right? I mean, it would have been a back channel communication or a public speech about how we have to set aside our differences and may the best man or woman win in 2024. We have to unite the country. Don't prosecute your political opponents. We got to put that away, that concept away. He could have that would have actually been smart politically for him, but he didn't do that. So they are approving this. They're going to say they're not, but they're approving of this entire thing.
Well, not only did Joe Biden not put out a message to bring the temperature down, he functionally gaslit this indictment by saying that extreme MAGA Republicans were dangerous. Remember, it's Biden's government that we are currently investigating for supercharging the notion of domestic violent extremism. We found cases of the FBI cooking the books to try to get every American to think that the person next to them with a pro-Trump bumper sticker is somehow dangerous or evil. And when Biden did that, it created a permission structure not only for Alvin Bragg, but for the corrupt left-leaning prosecutors in Fulton County and even for the special counsel to try to lash together anything. Remember, this is a novel legal theory. You're talking about a misdemeanor that has to get bootstrapped onto election law in a way I've never seen before. And Alvin Bragg made this promise in his campaign. He told New York voters that he had sued Trump 100 times and that if he got in that position, he would continue this terrible witch hunt.
Yeah, he's a total hack. I mean, we all know that. I mean, anyone who's a serious person knows this is political. It doesn't pass the straight face test. But Michael Cohen's attorney, yes, he has an attorney, thinks the prosecutors, Congressman, have a lot to work with.
There are lots of facts, lots of documents, lots of evidence of multiple crimes. There will be a lot of people surprised at the level of evidence, at the detail of evidence, based on my experience in watching this group of prosecutors develop this case.
Congressman, again, they're in essence allowed to just peddle propaganda before the public even knows what Trump is facing here.
Yeah,
again, it's almost like they're trying to incite some type of bad reaction on the part of the American people by kind of dragging this out. I don't like this. And everybody watching tonight, we, support peaceful protests, and people are going to protest this, go at it. But, we're not violent people. We go to court to get our results if we have to. And that's what Donald Trump's going to do.
Certainly, we don't want to resolve differences through violence, but Give me a break. The Chinese Communist Party can pay every grifter in the Biden family, but Donald Trump can't pay Stormy Daniels to resolve a legal dispute without the claim that there's lots of evidence. There's a legal element that is not met by any evidence. They would have to prove that Donald Trump would have no reason other than the election to try to resolve this issue with Stormy Daniels privately and outside of the public sphere. And of course, there are plenty of reasons he would do so. So it's an obvious affirmative defense. What I think will happen next, a motion to dismiss. And if this were ever to be tried, you certainly could not do it in Manhattan. You would likely see a change of venue. Upstate New York would maybe be the only place Donald Trump could get a fair trial. But what I expect is that this will be resolved well before that by any court that looks at the way that the law is being tortured in the absence of any charge that would be maintainable against any human being on the planet Earth other than Donald Trump. And against Trump, it is clearly political, frivolous. And that's why you're able to cite that Quinnipiac evidence showing that by a margin of about 2-1, the American people see this is not based in the law or the facts, but raw, ugly politics.
Well, you have more faith in the judges in New York than I do, Congressman. I don't have any faith in these judges in New York, but maybe I've just seen too much in my day. But we appreciate it, Congressman. Thank you very much.